So I think when I saw my dad's journey, so he was running a very successful business in partnerships. Earlier, अगर आप देखेंगे तो I don't want to take out any names over here. But then we have seen the things where we have traveled the journey from rags to the riches as well. अब यही समझिए गोरेगांव स्टेशन पर हम जाते हैं और हमको चर्च गेट जाना है, लेकिन हमने ट्रेन अगर विरार की पकड़ ली तो रास्ता ही गलत हो गया, स्पीड तो फिर भी हमको सेम मिल रहा है. So that will always misguide us. So we need to have that progress towards the right direction and right destination, and then I think success will always be there with you. In summary,
I think businesses are fast speed, or is it sometimes goes the
I think
other way?
It's a mixed thought, and there is no right or wrong over here. Some businesses, they will take their own time. Somebody will, like, when we are thinking about harvesting something, every harvesting have got its own cycle. Some will take a full year, some will be done in a month's time.
What are the biggest mistakes you see of the young entrepreneurs making today?
I think two things. One, they are not thinking of profit from day one. And second, they are not having processes and systems in place. These dreams, these ideas sometimes disappear as soon as we wake up. But sometimes when we are seeing from our open eyes these dreams or visions, we all at least go with that for a week or few days or few months. And then we just, sometimes disappear, but some people will carry it.
Namaste everyone. Today we have with us a man who just doesn't build businesses but builds empires. All the way from London, joining to us on Krishna Talks, he's a serial entrepreneur, a strategic visionary, a mastermind behind staggering 45 global businesses. He's also an author, managing director of Geekon Private Limited, and please welcome the man who just turns visions into victory, Mr. Santosh Mishra ji. Welcome Santosh ji on Krishna Talks.
Namaskar Krishna ji. Thank you for inviting me.
आप अपने बारे में संतोष जी बताना चाहेंगे कि किस तरीके से आपने अपना पर्सनल जर्नी आपका स्टार्ट किया?
जी.
अपने बारे में बताइए.
I think मेरे बारे में अगर देखा जाए तो personally I'm a very much open, very much open for learnings, open for a progressive journey, जहाँ पर मैं अपने अलावा मेरा पर्पस बाद में आता है. पहले am I helpful for other people or not? Can I provide something which can be helping people to bring some convenience? कुछ comfort उनके लिए आता है, whether it is in form of improvements into their life, या फिर we are being a catalyst to transform someone's life. So that part always comes first, and this always goes into every engagement which we are doing. जर्नी बहुत अर्ली स्टेज से चालू की थी when I was in 14 years old, और अब मैं mid of the life स्टेज पर पहुंच चुका हूं. So I think let's explore a bit more into this during our conversations. But it's a very dynamic and a journey with lots of learning curves, ups and downs, and lots of good friends as well on the same time going together.
How is Santosh Kumar positioned today in 2026?
I think there are multiple ways to look into it. It's a perspective which we can say. So if you see my own perspective, who am I today in my own world? If you see, I'm a very strategic person. I always plan things, and when I'm planning, I always have very concrete plan stepwise. Pretty much I'm at stage 2 or 3 of my life out of 24 stages. So that's what I can say. So very early stage at this point of time, building positions, building businesses. I'm a global speaker, I'm an author, I'm a serial entrepreneur at the same time, creator of 45 brands so far, but have seen lots of ups and downs and dips, lots of learning curve, resilience is a lot over there. That's my personal perspective. From other people, so I'm thinking from my point of view, life is too short to learn everything by ourselves, but without learning and without progress, we cannot make any change in other people's life as well. अगर मैं दूसरों की बात करूं from other people's point of view, so उनके point of view से ऐसा रहता है कि maybe when people are talking, they feel me like I'm a global leader. They feel like I'm a person with a Midas touch, if I touch something, that will turn into gold. They feel like that, if they come to me, I can get every problem solved for them. So I'm that catalyst. That's what people think. Different people have got different views. You will always have some people who will approach you, some people will never approach you, and this is life, this is journey. In summary, if I say, I'm a person who is always looking to learn, looking to network, with other people, looking to travel a lot. And during this travel and learning curve, if I can touch base someone's life and bring some improvements and transformation into their lives, which can have knock-on impact for the larger audience, I think that's what I'm trying to, drive my journey towards, whether that's friends, families, or someone who is far away from me and not connected directly or indirectly. It doesn't matter. Krishna, I think when we go in the early stages, it's always accidental. It's always accidental, isn't it? हम लोग कुछ प्लान तो करते नहीं है, बस चीजें हो जाती हैं. So I think when I saw my dad's journey, so he was running a very successful business in partnerships. Earlier, अगर आप देखेंगे तो I don't want to take out any names over here. But then we have seen the things where we have traveled the journey from rags to the riches as well. So उस केस में क्या होता है कि when you have seen that, I think if I remember, I was at 14 years age when my dad used to come to. So अगर आप मेरी journey देखेंगे, so at a very early stage, I was 6 or 7 years old. जब मेरे मामा जी थे, he was a retired military person. And उसके बाद उन्होंने जो है MA किया इंग्लिश में और हिस्ट्री में और some other things. And then he became a teacher. So मेरी माँ के पास जब आए थे तो उन्होंने कहा कि ये बच्चा बहुत होशियार लगता है, मैं इसको अपने पास लेके जाऊंगा. And laughingly mom said, हाँ लेके जाओ, कोई बात नहीं. And then he said, चलेगा मामा जी क्या? बोला, who is not happy to go to मामा जी's house, right? मैंने कहा हाँ चलो. What I did not know is मैं इनके साथ जा तो रहा हूँ, शायद वापस नहीं आऊंगा जल्दी यहाँ पर. So I came from Bhinder to Malad or at the age of 7. और फिर यहीं पे रह गया, यहीं पढ़ाई वढ़ाई सब कुछ हुई. और then when I reached back to my mother's, it was like I passed my 10th SSC at that time. So almost 7-8 years or 9 years. नहीं, we used to go, मतलब मम्मी आ रही है और हफ्ते में आ रहे हैं. But as a kid, when you need 24/7 access to your parents and you don't have it, so you have got 2 mothers and 2 fathers, in other words. एक मेरे biological और एक जिनके साथ मेरी early life जा रही है. तो वो एक चीज था. But he being a military person, he was very strict. And वो हमको 4 बजे उठा देंगे, चलो ये काम करो, ये पढ़ाई करो. So that was a major contribution which I can say. So the two influential people, apart from my mom and my mommy ji, if you see my father, who have always given me lots of insight from the business world from age of 14, whereas my mama ji, who has given the life skills, who have given those things. So those both are the very influential figures in the early stage of my life. वहाँ से शुरू हुई थी journey. And then my father, from the age of 14, I have seen him, how we got into the struggle when we started looking. उसके पहले पिताजी आते थे मामा जी का, जब मैं था, every week or something, कभी 20 रुपए दे दिए. And I'm talking about 80s, 83, 84, something like that, So 10 रुपए, 20 रुपए, 50 रुपए एक बच्चे के लिए तो बहुत बड़ी रकम हो जाती थी उस टाइम पे. और हम जो अपना उसका कभी खरीद रहे हैं हम लोग बिस्किट और चॉकलेट, कभी हम टॉयज खरीद रहे हैं. एंड देन वी आर लाइक गुड टीम ऑफ सिबलिंग्स. सो हम सब एंजॉय कर रहे हैं. एंड देन सडन
आप मामा जी के आए?
मामा जी के भी लड़के थे, तो उनकी 2
brothers.
नहीं, मेरे ब्रदर्स, आई वाज द ओनली वन हु वाज एट मामा जी. रेस्ट ऑल वर विथ मम्मी के पास ही रहते थे वो लोग, तो वहां पर थे. तो जर्नी वाइज इफ यू सी ट्रांसफॉर्मर इनिशियल जर्नी, इट स्टार्टेड इन दैट वे. बिजनेस वर्ल्ड का इंट्रोडक्शन आपने पूछा कि हाउ वी गॉट इंट्रोड्यूस्ड टू द बिजनेस वर्ल्ड. आई हैव सीन डैड एट द वेरी स्मॉलर स्केल कैसे बिजनेस ऑपरेट करने हैं. कभी कभी मैं उनके साथ चले भी जाता था. आफ्टर माय GCSE आई सेड टू माय डैड कि एक काम करो, मुझे भी एक सेक्शन दे ही दो. उन्होंने कहा क्या करेगा? मैं बोला कम से कम मुझे आपके पास पैसे लेने तो नहीं आएंगे, कॉलेज में जब हूँ तो अपना खुद का मैं कुछ न कुछ कमाते रहूंगा. सो आई स्टार्टेड पैरेलली अर्निंग लिटिल बिट along with my college as well. तो उस केस में क्या हुआ कि आई एम गोइंग इन डीलिंग विद होलसेलर्स, आई एम गोइंग इन डीलिंग विद अदर रिटेल ट्रेडर्स हु आर कमिंग टू माय डैड टू बाय, कि भाई आज मेरे पास ये नहीं है, ले लो आपके पास, सो दोस काइंड ऑफ इंटरेक्शन आई हैव सीन, द डेली प्रॉफिट एंड लॉस, द मंथली प्रॉफिट एंड लॉस, द कॉस्ट ऑफ गुड्स, एक्सपेंसेस, ये जो छोटी छोटी चीजें होती हैं, दिस स्टार्टेड ड्रिप फीडिंग इनटू मी, that how the business actually operates in the
से अपने डैडी के साथ
right
बोल लिया ताकि आपको चीजें को ज्यादा जानकारी मिल गई
right वो एक exposure मिला, I wouldn't say, I think business wise that was very different business, because when I post graduated, after post graduation my first proper corporate job was with Johnson and Johnson, यहाँ आपका धारावी में जो इनका मैन्युफैक्चरिंग फर्म है वहां पर, सो वहां पर जो मेरा एंगेजमेंट था वो
कॉलेज से प्लेसमेंट हो गया था आपका?
हाँ, डायरेक्टली वहां से, मतलब कॉलेज साथ में हुआ था, सो वहां से अगर हम लोग देखेंगे तो आई वाज शैडोइंग परचेसिंग डायरेक्टर, आई थिंक केतन मेहता वाज द परचेसिंग डायरेक्टर एट दैट टाइम, सो आई वाज शैडोइंग हिम एज अ मैनेजमेंट कंसल्टिंग एंड ट्रेनिंग, सो हम लोग वो जर्नी वहां से शुरू हुई, व्हिच इज कंप्लीटली डिफरेंट देन व्हाट आई हैव सीन विद डैड, because dad was a small business owner, अपना day to day hand to mouth earnings और experience हो रहा है, whereas this is a completely different world, but life is destined to do something which is not planned by us. That's the reason I said to you that not everything is planned in life. चीजें sometimes what it happens, we think that we will be doing XYZ, but life has planned something else and we accidentally fall into it.
And we should accept that.
And we should always, we should be open to the learnings. I think, there is no right or wrong, in my view, for anything. As long as we can see that we are learning and we are making a progress toward our destiny, then it's perfectly fun. अब यही समझिए, गोरेगांव स्टेशन पर हम जाते हैं और हमको चर्चगेट जाना है, लेकिन हमने ट्रेन अगर विरार की पकड़ ली तो रास्ता ही गलत हो गया, स्पीड तो फिर भी हमको सेम मिल रहा है, so that will always misguide us. So we need to have that progress towards the right direction, the right destination, and then I think success will always be there with you. In summary.
तो आपने फिर एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप कैसे, आप बिजनेस कैसे स्टार्ट किए आज जहाँ पर हैं आप?
I think that was again accidental as well. So when I started working with Johnson and Johnson, उसके बाद मैंने और बहुत सारे businesses में engagement किया, like Bentex, if you know Bentex Jewelry in 1998. So वहाँ से Daniel was the CEO of that. He used to live in Bombay and Hong Kong. So I started working with him, I think for almost 8 to 9 months to 1.5 years, if I roughly vaguely remember. I operated with him. So I looked at how the manufacturing world operates, how, this was happened, the journey after Johnson and Johnson. So, exposure from operations between Goa, Mumbai, Hong Kong, that got engaged into it. I think in 2004, I got a call from this company who was operating in UK saying, hey, would you like to come to UK? Now,
Which was this?
This was Simply Health. So insurance-based company. So इसमें हुआ क्या कि when we post graduated, जब मैं बैंड्रा में था फादर एग्नेल में, तो हम लोग 3 दोस्त थे और हम लोग तीनों मतलब we were just thinking कि हम लोग मतलब एक टॉप टियर में है यहाँ पर स्टडीज में, we were always high rankers as well, top 1 2 3 was our high ranks at that point in the college post graduation cycle I'm talking about. और वो होने के बाद हमारे सबके सपने दिमाग में ये था कि हमको अभी यूएस जाना है, प्रोग्रामर बनना है, that was the dream, but programmers, बट वो चीजें होती नहीं. मैं मैनेजमेंट में आ गया यहाँ पर जॉनसन एंड जॉनसन में, वो दोनों ने अपना अपना लाइफ चूज किया. वी डोंट नो वेयर दे आर एट द जयंत, ऑफ कोर्स द फर्स्ट पार्टनर ही इज नो मोर इनटू नाउ, सो वी नो राकेश वाज वर्किंग विद एचपी, बट आई डोंट नो वेयर ही इज एट दिस पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम. मैं यूके चला गया वहां पर 2004 में, एंड जर्नी हैज शिफ्टेड फ्रॉम देयर. सो आफ्टर 3 or 4 years of working, I was working with the management. I was, looking at the, I was product owner of, certain business ownerships into the insurance industry. And there are certain things, certain products, certain policies, which was not being implemented in the software how we wanted as a management. Then मैंने सोचा यार, why don't we just create our own product and we create our own product line so that we can sell those products and services to the other insurance companies. That's where this thought came back to my mind in 2007, saying, let me start my own business while I'm doing the job with, with this company.
So that was a basic idea. That was a click. Your digital business.
Digital technology based business. Yes. Yeah. So वहाँ से then I set up an office. I set up, hired 3 people, 1 developer, 1 business.
Gcon
is that, So एक business analyst लिया, एक software developer, एक sales वाला बंदा लिया कि we can just build this whole thing. The idea is that within 3 months time we will have our product ready. It got almost 8 months time. There was no product, there is no thing. I'm just fast forwarding the whole journey of 8 months. And then I think after 8 months time, a point came where I thought, this is not right. I'm earning good money, but all the earning which I'm earning at the moment, I'm putting into this business, which is reducing my bank balance. So I think job is more safer and better rather than doing this job. So वो करके मैंने फिर after 8 months time, I fired all the 3 people, closed down the business. I said, this is not worth. I think it's safer to stay in the job. And sometimes, Krishna, what happens when you are destined for something and when you are driven for a business, और business हमारे खून में है ना, खून में इस तरह अगर आप हमारी जर्नी देखोगे तो मेरे जो ग्रेट ग्रैंडफादर थे, he was a आयुर्वेदिक डॉक्टर, लेकिन वो साथ में आपका नागपुर में एक जगह फूलपुर में वो और उनके भाई ये लोग जंगल से लकड़ियां काटने का कॉन्ट्रैक्ट लेते थे ब्रिटिश ईरा के टाइम से, और उनकी लकड़ियां रंगून वगैरह सब कुछ जाती थी. मेरा अभी एक घर बन रहा है जिसमें करीब 150 साल पुरानी लकड़ियां लगी हुई, ऐसी की ऐसी लकड़ियां लगी हुई अभी भी. वो भी यहाँ से फूलपुर से वहां गई थी गाँव में और वहां जाकर सब बनाया हुआ था. सिंस ही वॉज आयुर्वेदिक डॉक्टर, वो साथ में एक सोशल काम भी करते थे. जब वहां गाँव में गए तो लोग जो बहुत दूर दूर से लोग उनके पास आते थे और दवाइयां लेकर जाते थे, और वो सब एक अलग चीज था. सो वहां से वो एज अ इनहेरिटेंस दैट वाज पास टू माय ग्रैंडफादर और उनके भाई को. फिर फॉर सम रीजन दे टुक अ ओथ इन कोर्ट, किसी का जाकर गारंटी ले लिए थे, एंड देन ही डिफॉल्टेड एंड देन वी लॉस्ट दैट होल बिजनेस. देन दादाजी केम टू मुंबई और यहाँ पे फिर अपना फिर से शुरुआत की. सो वो जो जर्नी है, वो जो ब्लड में हमारे इंटरवेंशन गया हुआ है बिजनेस का, वो तो कभी जाएगा नहीं ना. सो थिंकिंग ऑफ दैट आई थॉट नहीं, आई थिंक लेट्स अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट हैपेंस. एंड समटाइम्स व्हाट हैपेंस, जब हमारे बड़े बोलते हैं तो हम लोगों को लगता है कि उनको क्या मालूम है. आई वाज थिंकिंग, जब पिताजी पहले बोलते थे कि देखो ये सही नहीं है, ये सही है बिजनेस में, तो मेरे दिमाग में ये चलता था कि ही इज 12th पास ना, तो वो क्या करेंगे, मतलब उनको क्या मालूम रहेगा 10वीं 12वीं पढ़े हुए आदमी को. मैं तो पोस्ट ग्रेजुएट हूँ ना, मैं जॉनसन जॉनसन में काम किया हूँ, मैंने जो है इतने बड़े बड़े बिजनेसेस को ऑपरेट करते हुए देखा है. सो नोबडी नोज बेटर देन मी. सो वो एक ईगो जो रहता है ना, दैट ईगो ऑलवेज विल हैव सम प्रॉब्लम फॉर यू. बट we as a human being, we always learn when we are hard hit by something. उसके पहले realize नहीं होता है. After losing 67,000 pound in my first business, तब मुझे realize हुआ सोचने कि नहीं, कुछ और सोचना चाहिए, कुछ तो गड़बड़ है यहाँ पे. And then we start thinking, पापा क्या बोलते थे, कैसे उनका जी चीजें थी, how to implement it. And one of the thing which he mentioned always, जो which become a mantra for me, one of the mantra, he said, in business or personal life, when things are happening very nicely and they are flourishing fantastically for you, do not take credit of that. Give the credit of that success to everyone around you. Correct. Whether they are your employee, friends, families, whoever it is, just give the whole credit to them, because you will not gain a lot by taking the whole credit to yourself. But when things go wrong, when things they are going in opposite direction, वो हिंदी में बोलते थे, मैं इंग्लिश में बोल रहा हूँ इस चीज को. He said, उस टाइम पर do not blame anyone, because nobody is going to accept that failure and nobody is going to take responsibility and ownership of that. As a process owner or as a business owner or as a owner of your own life, you have to take the complete ownership and you have to take the complete responsibility of that failure. If you don't take it, you will never be able to progress it. Just remember a few things. When you are taking that, after failure, do not consider that failure as a losses or something. Consider that as a learning curve. So from each failure, without failure, you will never learn. So failure is must. Remember that formula. And he said, after that failure, what you have to do is, you have to make sure that you are learning, and your learning have got some value. And that value has to be at least 10 times, 100 times, or 1,000 times bigger than what you have lost. अगर वो लर्निंग का तुम लॉस में इवेल्युएट नहीं कर पाते हो, then also it's a problem. And then he said one more final. He said, after you have failed, if you are determined to succeed, then stand up more strongly, run faster, and do not stop yourself unless until you reach your milestone. And life is a journey. It's a milestone. वी कैन नॉट से कि हम पहुंच गए बस अब इसके आगे कुछ नहीं होता है. लाइफ में एंड तो है ही नहीं कहीं पर. We always have to go. It's always, yeah, चलती का नाम गाड़ी. वहाँ पर माइलस्टोन आएंगे ही. एक माइलस्टोन हुआ, हमको दूसरा दिखेगा, तीसरा दिखेगा, and we have to keep on achieving that.
तो आपने फिर कौन से सारे ये 45 बिजनेसेस जो आपने खड़े किए हैं, हाउ डिड यू स्टार्ट विद द फर्स्ट बिजनेस? आपका पहला बिजनेस क्या था?
आई थिंक फर्स्ट तो यही था, जीकॉन, जो हम लोग ने अभी नाम लिया 2007 में. सो वो ये एनालिसिस जब मैंने 8 महीने के बाद बंद किया बिजनेस, देन आई थॉट वन, ये सब एनालिसिस चल रहा था उस टाइम पे, करना चाहिए नहीं करना चाहिए, क्या करना चाहिए. एंड आई थिंक आई थॉट फॉर 8 months टाइम. 2009 February I gave up my job. I resigned. मैंने कहा business is the only thing which we have to do. I'm not going to do it. So I resigned from my job in UK. I was that at that time. और मैंने इसको रीस्टार्ट किया. But when I restarted with 8 people now. I bought this office in London, जहाँ पर आप गए थे, So वो ऑफिस 2009 से हमने लिया हुआ था.
संतोष जी,
Yeah.
Most business gurus, they say just focus on one thing.
Yes.
But you have built up 45 brands. Now you tell me, do you have some secret, policies to system of starting the business and running the business all together at single time?
Yeah, I think there's a framework and the formula for this.
Yeah.
And formula goes like this. Most of the people, when they talk, they are telling you one, when we were in the school, they say, earth is stationary.
Yeah.
Then say chandrama khali ghumta hai earth ke charo taraf. Fir aaya ki earth is also moving around the sun.
Yeah.
So the stage where we are, we will always be talk about that. To answer this question very quickly, I think it is very important to focus on one thing. But when you are looking at the long run, the 45 brands which I am creating at the moment, it has started the journey in 2007. And this is 2026 now.
Yeah.
So almost 19 years. Within 19 years,
so
this
one
is...
year, one thing. You started with one business.
I wouldn't say 1 year, but some businesses takes around 2 to 3 months time. Some businesses takes, few years time.
Yeah.
So my current focus, say, for example, is on B2B Growth Hub, where we put 2.5 years of planning. But some consultancy-based businesses take in few months' time. Framework is always the same. The framework is, if you have to give one particular framework or formula, what it is, I will say it is called a model which I have built called 4 pillars of success.
4 pillars of
a success.
Yeah.
So for any business or the personal life, the first thing is the planning. You always need to have the planning. Then you need the processes. If your business or personal, exposure is not driven by the process, you are preparing yourself for failure. So that process is the second thing. Once you got the planning and the process together, you need the right people with the right mindset, which is very important, to implement your processes and execute your plan. So that third pillar is the process. And then, since we are talking about the business, in business, if we don't think of profit on day one, it's a huge failure. 99% of the business people who fail, they think, abhi aaj business kar lete na, kal profit ka dekhenge. That is where we lose.
But we think, like slow grow hoga. It's just a baby.
There is no slow. It's all framework.
Yeah, it's a framework.
Yeah, it's a framework.
Since you're based in UK, it's a global hub of business growth. So you think businesses are fast speed, or is it sometimes goes the
I think
other way?
It's a mixed thought, and there is no right or wrong over here. Some businesses, they will take their own time. Somebody will, like, when we are thinking about harvesting something, every harvesting have got its own cycle. Some will take a full year, some will be done in a month's time. But they still have to go through that process of multiple stages, whether it's a month or a year. So if you think business-wise or industry-wise, it takes time. I was investing into a business which is more of a, producing newspapers, magazines, those kind of things. Now, for me, the idea is either we can buy that if on the ready-made, business, or we just start everything from scratch, which might take longer time as well. So we have got different tools and strategies and technologies how we can do it, but there is no right or wrong saying which one is the fast or slow. Depending on the business model and business industry, it can differ.
Santoshi, out of your 45 brands, I'm sure there was one that there would be something almost broke you.
Yeah.
So which one would you like to narrate about? Like which was your biggest beautiful disaster?
I think there are a couple of things. It's an experience and journey.
Yeah.
There are a couple of things which I can share over here. One was a business which was based in Delhi. Delhi, and I invested around 70 lakhs rupees into that. I'm talking about 2007. Parallelly, I was trying to build multiple brands together, and I invested, and it was a completely fraud company, without taking the name of it, headed by some of the highest political figures into it. And that was the biggest disaster where nobody can help me out. Out of that, I approached.
It was beautiful.
It was beautiful in terms. I wouldn't say that, because it's a very emotional. When you are losing your hard-earned money, it's very emotional sometimes. So it's always the mindset and the resilience, how you take it. Some people, they will never be able to accept that it is a loss. But because of the philosophies which I have ingrained into myself, it's always like, these losses are nothing but they are the learning curve. And I have invested 70 lakhs rupees to learn something that never worked with the people who are engaged at that level and do a little bit more research. Especially don't work in India, I would say, especially in Delhi. So that's one thing which I can say. But learning wise, if that 70,
India, but it is growing in business now, I see. So why are you saying that?
I think, I'm talking about 2007. So now 2027 is coming, which is 20 years down the line. After 2014, lots of transformation has happened in India. Entire world wanted to come and connect and work over here. So the time decides, and this thought which I'm sharing was at that point of time over there. It still have a lot to mature. Indian businesses at this point of time, lot more transparency and clarity has to be in place. There is a different discussion which needed for that one. But I think from that point, I think that was the most beautiful experience of how these people operate, how to learn and what learn. I think learning wise, 70 lakhs have given me 70 crores of learnings. So that was the most beautiful.
75 lakhs, you lost it.
Yeah.
And then did you closed down the business, or did you went ahead?
Yeah, it's called Tips. It's called Tips Info, which doesn't exist. And I, was promised to get all the government contracts throughout the India, and I'll be earning millions and millions of pounds from there. So of course that was closed down. I never looked at those, because since I was in UK, whole focus was in UK. But learning wise, I think one learning which I got from there, focus where you are, where you can control, where you can operate functionally properly. So that was one learning. And as I said, if something has given you 70 lakhs of losses, but it can give you learning worth 70 crores, it's always worth. And thinking, it's all mindset. I think business and life is all about mindset, how we take anything, whatever is coming in front of us.
According to you, is better, the business world or the job seekers and the job kind of a world?
I think business is always preferable one. Job is good if suppose you are early startups where you don't have any backup. That is where most of people will start, but that should not be your end destiny. You should always think business, because what business can give you, job will never give you. I think on the biggest disaster side, there is another parallelly. This was another thing happening in 2011. 2011, we were operating with a US company. We had a call center set up, 65 people operating from Calcutta call center, which we had. And a very young guy, like 33 years old, the entrepreneur, he got heart attack. And we had around 65,000 pounds of again billing coming over there, and he lost his life, sadly. Now, the biggest learning for the entrepreneurs like us are that we should not be just we should not be depending on the fate always. Anything can happen live. And he did not have any wills, he did not have any policies, no processes, and government has taken over his business because there is no one assigned to the business. Our billing of 65,000 pound again over there was stuck, and all the processes were defined and decided for that company. It means our entire Calcutta operation has to be stopped at that point of time. And again, 2011 is the time over there. So sometimes these challenges becomes a part of
so you need to check the business owner's profile even.
Profile, sometimes it's called contingency plan, I would say. Nobody knew that he will have a heart attack. Nobody knew that he did not have them, because you cannot have that control.
Backups should be always there.
Plan A, B, and C should always be there. So hence in this book, Visions to Victory, you will see have mentioned about plan A, B, and C. We should always have the contingency plan. So in management, it is called contingency plan, where we have a contingency of every options.
Situational plan, how the situation changes and you need to change.
True.
But like when you're building up a business, do you only just build empires for transferable to legacy, family legacy, or do you make up businesses, brands, just to, for the sake of selling on a higher bidding prices and moving ahead?
There are different types of businesses. Sometimes it depends on the exit strategies. So, there are family legacy businesses where family can operate. In my mind, when I'm operating, I'm not just thinking about the family. I'm thinking about the entire ecosystem.
Yeah, the ecosystem.
So some businesses will be there which is very much family oriented. There will be some. I think as of now, if you see, we are very early stage at this point of time. But when we're talking about our family business, my brothers are involved into the business. My family is involved into the businesses. So, they are controlling and they are maintaining. So, one of my brothers is having around 13 operations heading. And the second brother is having around 11 operations heading at this point of time. I'm freely moving around, wherever I can go because of that flexibility. But every business which we have got, we also have got the board of directors. We also have got the directors who are operational over there. They are managing and supporting that particular business as well. So as I said, in the 4 pillars of business planning, plan, process, and people. People are very important. And when we are planning, it goes like, hierarchy wise, planning, process, and people first. But in the execution, everything reverses. You have to think of profit first, then bring the right people, then they should be able to execute the process and then execute the plan.
According to your mantra, planning, process, people, and profit. 4 P's you are looking at.
True.
Okay. संतोष जी, अब एक छोटा सा रैपिड फायर राउंड शुरू करते हैं. आपके दिमाग में जो भी पहला शब्द आए आप उसे बताइएगा, बिना सोचे समझे
जी,
ताकि हमको एकदम अनफिल्टर्ड आंसर मिले.
जी.
संतोष कुमार जी, एक ब्रांड को जीरो से हीरो बनाने के लिए सबसे जरूरी क्या है?
मार्केटिंग.
लंदन में बिजनेस करना मुश्किल है या इंडिया में?
आई थिंक दोनों जगह आसान है.
आसान है,
दोनों जगह आसान है.
संतोष कुमार जी, आपने तो बहुत सारे बिजनेस स्टार्ट किए हैं, तो फूड बिजनेस भी आपने एक आध बार किया ही है
जी.
फूड बिजनेस में स्वाद ज्यादा जरूरी है कि मार्केटिंग?
आई थिंक दोनों का अपना अपना रोल है, बट मैं अगर एक चूज करना तो स्वाद.
45 ब्रांड्स में से आपका सबसे लाडला ब्रांड कौन सा है?
B2B ग्रोथ हब, स्पेशली अवार्ड नाइट्स.
अवार्ड नाइट्स
जी.
नए एंटरप्रेन्योर्स की सबसे बड़ी गलती क्या होती है?
ये मान लेना कि मेरा बिजनेस शुरू हो गया है और अब मैं मिलियनर बन जाऊंगा तुरंत बिना किसी प्रॉब्लम के.
अगर आज आपके पास 0 पैसे हैं, आप कौन सा नया बिजनेस शुरू करना चाहेंगे?
मैं लोगों को सिखाने का बिजनेस शुरू करना चाहूंगा कि कैसे वो एक सक्सेसफुल एंटरप्रेन्योर बन सकते हैं.
स्टार्टअप वर्ल्ड का सबसे बड़ा झूठ क्या है?
कि बिजनेस बहुत आसानी से हो जाता है.
बिजनेस पार्टनर चुनते वक्त दिमाग का सुनना चाहिए या दिल का?
दिमाग का.
दिमाग. एक वर्ड जो संतोष कुमार मिश्रा को डिफाइन करता है?
प्रॉब्लम सॉल्वर.
संतोष जी, कुछ आप जानकारी हमें लीडरशिप के बारे में बताएंगे ताकि वो आजकल के नई जनरेशन को हेल्प करे?
जी. आई थिंक लीडरशिप एक क्वालिटी होती है जहां पर लोगों को साथ में लेकर चलना, एक पॉजिटिव माइंडसेट रखना, और हमेशा इस तरह देखना कि नेगेटिव चीजों को इग्नोर कर दीजिए और पॉजिटिव चीजों को लेकर जो लोगों के स्ट्रेंथ है उसके साथ अपनी पर्सनल और प्रोफेशनल लाइफ को बिल्ड कीजिए. वो एक ट्रू लीडर होता है जहां पर वो सिर्फ अपनी नहीं देख रहा है, अपने साथ साथ अपने आसपास के सारे लोगों के बारे में पहले सोचता है और अपने बारे में बाद में सोचता है. ये लीडरशिप का एक क्वालिटी जो रहता है मेरे पर्सनल पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से बहुत ज्यादा इम्पैक्टफुल एंड बहुत ज्यादा सक्सेसफुल रहता है लोगों के लिए.
संतोष जी, आपने बहुत बिजनेस स्पीकिंग सेमिनार्स किए हैं, बहुत बिजनेस एंड आपने बहुत सारे सेमिनार्स किए हैं. कुछ ऐसे लिस्ट बताएंगे जो आपके फेमस और बेस्ट है?
आई थिंक मैं स्पीकर, यस, यू आर राइट। मैं स्पीकिंग करता हूँ, इंटरनेशनल स्टेज पर भी स्पीकिंग करता हूँ, ग्लोबल स्टेज पर भी करता हूँ। रिसेंटली मुझे इनवाइट किया गया था यूके गवर्नमेंट से, जहाँ पर मैंने फंडिंग कैसे बिजनेसेस को की जाती है, क्या क्या चैलेंजेस बिजनेसेस में आते हैं, किस किस तरह के फंडिंग होते हैं, तो उसके बारे में बात किया था। टाइटल उसका था अंडर रिप्रेजेंटेड फाउंडर्स इन अदर अंडर रिप्रेजेंटेड फाउंडर्स, जहाँ फाउंडर्स को कोई रिप्रेजेंट नहीं कर रहा है फिर भी उनको एक्सेस अगर फंडिंग का चाहिए तो कैसे करें, वो एक टॉपिक था। दूसरे में सेल्स सिस्टम्स जो होते हैं, सेल्स और सिस्टम्स, उसको कंबाइन करके कैसे फाइनेंस बिजनेस में सेल्फ जनरेट ऑर्गेनिक किया जाए, उसके बारे में बात करता हूँ। मैं माइंडसेट के बारे में लोगों से बात करता हूँ कि बिजनेस माइंडसेट में किस तरह की चीजें आती हैं, फ्रेमवर्क जो बिजनेस के होते हैं वो कैसे होते हैं, प्लस कुछ और टॉपिक्स जो गोल्डन नगेट्स जिसको बोलते हैं। तो कुछ बिजनेस के फॉर्मूलेज और कुछ मॉडल्स जो मेरे प्रोप्राइटरी मॉडल्स हैं, जिसको हमने ट्रेडमार्क कराया हुआ है, पेटेंट कराया हुआ है, तो उन चीजों के बारे में लोगों से बात है। तो देयर आर मिक्स ओपिनियन एक रहता है कि कौन से कैसे हैं। अगर जैसे चीज रहता, अगर आप मेरी वेबसाइट पे जाएंगे या वहां पर कुछ अगर आ रही, सोशल मीडिया पे भी डिक्लेयर किया जाता है, लिंक्डइन पे भी आज आएंगे तो वहां पर भी पता चलेगा कि मैं कहाँ स्पीक कर रहा हूँ, कैसे स्पीक कर रहा हूँ। सो देयर आर मेनी, बहुत सारी चीजें हैं जो हम लोग देख सकते हैं, डिपेंडिंग ऑन कहाँ पर कैसी जरूरत है और किस बिजनेस को किस तरह के इंफॉर्मेशन शेयरिंग और नॉलेज शेयरिंग की जरूरत पड़ती है, उस हिसाब से हम लोग डिलीवर करते हैं।
यूट्यूब चैनल्स पर भी है?
यूट्यूब चैनल अभी तक मैंने बनाया नहीं है, क्योंकि ये एज अ बिजनेस तो कभी गया नहीं था, एज अ हॉबी है, बट मे बी अभी आपने दिमाग में डाला है तो बना देंगे।
डिजिटल प्रेजेंस होना बहुत जरूरी है। जब आपके पास इतना नॉलेज है तो आई वांट दैट लेट्स बीन सीन टू द एंटायर
जी,
वर्ल्ड एंड एक्सेसिबल टू द वर्ल्ड,
एंड आई थिंक वो चीज, यस यू आर राइट, एब्सोल्युटली राइट। लाइक इंस्टाग्राम पे जाएंगे जैसे, तो अभी अराउंड 70,000 पीपल आर फॉलोइंग मी, मे बी आई एम आल्सो फॉलोइंग सम ऑफ द पीपल। लिंक्डइन पे अराउंड 20,000 पीपल आर इन माय नेटवर्क, मोर देन 25,000। मोबाइल फोन पे मेरे अराउंड 12,000 लोग हैं, so जिनके पास रीच करना इज वेरी डिफिकल्ट, बट आई थिंक ऑल दिस सोशल चैनल, यू आर एब्सोल्युटली राइट, इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट nowadays, and wherever we can reach as a lesson to all the listeners, I think we all should be making our whole effort, and I think Google and YouTube should not be untouched from there, but every day is a school day, और हर रोज कुछ न कुछ हम सीख रहे हैं, प्रोग्रेस कर रहे हैं। एज लॉन्ग एज हमें खुद लगता है कि हम प्रोग्रेस कर रहे हैं, नथिंग एल्स मैटर्स।
संतोष जी, अपने मेंटरशिप के बारे में क्या आपके बारे में कुछ कहने का है? तो आपने कैसे मेंटरशिप किया है?
आई थिंक मेंटरशिप हम इज नथिंग बट नॉलेज ट्रांसफर। हम जो सीखे हुए हैं वो अगर हमारा नॉलेज किसी और को हेल्प कर सकता है, और हमने वो जर्नी खुद ट्रैवल की हुई है, तो अगर किसी और को जो है कुछ, वेदर वो ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन लेकर आ रहा है या इम्प्रूवमेंट लेकर आ रहा है या कन्विंस दे रहा है या कंफर्ट दे रहा है। आई थिंक सुबह हम लोग बात कर रहे थे अमेजन और ब्लिंक के बारे में, आई थिंक ब्लिंक इज समथिंग, ब्लिंकिट यहाँ पर। तो देखिए कन्विंस और कंफर्ट में ये, जहां पर अमेजन पे 2 दिन वेट करना पड़ता है, ब्लिंकिट आपका 10 मिनट में लाकर देता है, ये कंफर्ट हो गया। हमें जाकर मार्केट में 2 घंटे घूमने की जरूरत है, हमारा समय बच गया यहाँ पर। सो इस तरह की जो कन्विंस एंड कंफर्ट चीजें आती है, वहां पर ऑलवेज कस्टमर्स एंड और ऑडियंस विल बी इंटाइज्ड टू लुक इनटू इट। तो मेंटरशिप ये है जहां पर हम लोगों को हेल्प करें। मैं भी लोगों से बात करता हूँ, लोग आते हैं, चैलेंजेस अपने बताते हैं, हम देखते हैं कि उनका कहाँ पर है बिजनेस जर्नी में, कहाँ जाना चाहते हैं और क्या रोड मैप और ब्रिज उनके पास अवेलेबल है। तो उस तरह की इट इज नॉट वन, एक सिंगल बुलेट नहीं है कोई, यहाँ पर मल्टीपल चीज है फॉर एवरीबडी। हर आदमी अलग अलग चीज में एक्सपर्टाइज है, और बिजनेस एक घड़ी की तरह है जहां पर मल्टीपल कॉग्स हमारे पास है। एक स्क्रू कोई मिस हो गया तो घड़ी बंद हो जाएगी, इसी तरह बिजनेस है। तो जो अगर हमारे पास 2, 3, 4, 5 भी अगर मेंटर रहते हैं, रादर देन एक आदमी के रिलाई करने, तो हम मल्टीपल चीज कर सकते हैं, जो लोग जिसमें एक्सपर्ट है वैसा। सो मैं भी अपने जितनी इनसाइट्स हैं, एक्सपर्टाइज है, स्किल्स है, वो मैं शेयर करता हूँ अपने लोगों के साथ। एंड लोग अगर अपनी प्रॉब्लम लेके आते हैं, अगर मेरे पास उसका जवाब नहीं है, आई ऑलवेज बी वेरी ओपन एंड ऑनेस्ट और ट्रस्टफुल रहता हूँ, और उनको दूसरे से कनेक्ट करा दूंगा जो लोग ऑलरेडी उसमें एक्सपर्ट रहेंगे।
आप ये बताइए कि बॉस और लीडर के बीच में क्या डिफरेंस है? और as we say, boss is always right, but what about leaders and how about leaders? So
I think 2 वर्ड जो डिफाइन करता है, वन इज कमांड, सेकंड इज इंस्पिरेशन। सो बॉस जो रहता है वो कमांड करता है, लोग चाहे या ना चाहे उनको फॉलो करना है, वेयर इज लीडर्स इंस्पायर करता है, जिनको देखकर लोग बोलते हैं नहीं मुझे भी ऐसा करना चाहिए। सो दिस इज वन की डिफरेंस। जहां पर एक बॉस फेल हो जाता है, इंस्पायर कर, लोग जबरदस्ती काम कर रहे हैं और जबरदस्ती कोई काम होता नहीं है। वेयर इज अ लीडर जब इंस्पायर करता है तो लोग ऑटोमेटिक उसको फॉलो करते हैं।
बट एक बिजनेस में बॉस होना जरूरी है, तो
आज
बिजनेस में बॉस कम लीडर होना जरूरी है कि ओनली लीडर और ओनली बॉस?
आई थिंक डिपेंडिंग ऑन सीनियर इट्स अ मिक्स हाइब्रिड, वहां जहां सब कुछ जगह आपको वो कमांडिंग अथॉरिटी चाहिए, बट कमांडिंग अथॉरिटी अगर नेगेटिव इम्पैक्ट में चली जाएगी तो वहां प्रॉब्लम होता है। सो अगर आप खाली बॉस हो लेकिन लीडरशिप स्किल्स नहीं है, वो बिजनेस सक्सेस नहीं हो पाएगा। तो आपके पास लीडरशिप, बॉस के साथ लीडरशिप क्वालिटी ज्यादा रहनी चाहिए। दैट इज व्हाट आई बिलीव।
संतोष जी, अगर आजकल की जनरेशन में बहुत यंग लीडर्स तैयार हो रहे हैं, कुछ तो बच्चे 10th क्लास से, 7th 8th क्लास से ही सोचते हैं कि हम बिजनेस करेंगे
जी,
कुछ आइडियाज के साथ आते हैं कि हमें ये करना है, थोड़ा बिजनेस करने में सोचते हैं, आइडियाज ग्रो करते हैं। कई बार ऐसा हो जाता है कि कोई उनका आइडिया ले लेता है, खुद ही बिजनेस स्टार्ट कर देता है।
जी,
अब ये बच्चे पीछे हो जाते हैं, बच्चे छोटे हो जाते हैं, सेकेंडरी हो जाते हैं।
जी।
अब इनके लिए क्या एडवाइस है आपके पास?
आई थिंक जो यंग है, जैसे 10th क्लास के जो बच्चों की आप बात कर रहे हैं, हॉबी ड्रिवन, उनकी जो भी हॉबी रहेगी, उनको पैसे से लेना देना नहीं है, मतलब नहीं है, वो खाली बस अपनी हॉबी फुल कर रहे हैं। एज अ वेल विशर, एज अ पेरेंट, एज अ फ्रेंड, हमको उनको इंकरेज करना चाहिए कि वो अपनी हॉबी को और आगे बढ़ाएं, जो भी सपोर्ट दे सकते हैं। एंड लेट देम बिल्ड, लेट देम गिव फ्री हैंड टू वर्क विदाउट थिंकिंग वेदर सक्सेसफुल होंगे कि नहीं होंगे। उनका लर्निंग कर तो डेफिनेटली आएगा। सो वी शुड जस्ट इंकरेज देम फॉर दैट, सो दैट दे फुलफिल, वो अपनी जो हॉबी है उसको बढ़ाकर अपना बिजनेस मॉडल एक खड़ा करें, भले वो सक्सेसफुल
कर
है।
सकते हैं हम
जरूर, क्यों नहीं कर सकते। अगर आई थिंक उन बच्चों को क्या चाहिए फंडिंग में, हो सकता है उनको यूट्यूब का सब्सक्रिप्शन चाहिए या फिर उनको कोई और टूल्स का सब्सक्रिप्शन चाहिए, वो सब चीज है। हम बहुत आसानी से वो सब चीज फंडिंग कर सकते हैं, विद इन फ्यू थाउजेंड टू कुछ हजार से लेके लाख के अंदर हम उनको फंडिंग करा सकते हैं। तो डेफिनेटली करना चाहिए। 1000 रुपए लाख रुपए में क्या रिस्क लेंगे, आज की दुनिया में तो 1000 रुपए में कुछ भी नहीं आता है।
बिजनेस नहीं खड़ा होता है।
हो जाएगा अगर हॉबी बेस्ड है तो वो, जैसे स्किल बेस्ड, जैसे अपना सिंगिंग कोई बच्चा कर रहा है, सिंगिंग कर दिया हमने, यूट्यूब का सब्सक्रिप्शन ले, कुछ फोन्स वगैरह लेकर दे दिए, उससे रिकॉर्डिंग कर दिया, हो गया आपका हॉबी बेस्ड बिजनेस। स्पॉटिफाई में डाल दिया उसको, वो हो गया आपका उसका बिजनेस। कोई चीज अगर कंस्ट्रक्शन कर रहा है, मान लो उसके पास आइडिया आया हुआ है कि भाई मैं ऐसा चीज बनाऊंगा, इसके लिए मुझे एक टूल चाहिए, जो टूल 10,000 रुपए का आ रहा है, लाके दे देते हैं उसको, हम लोग मैन्युफैक्चर करना चालू हो जाएगा। अगर मास स्केल पे आ रहा है, उसको स्केलेबिलिटी दे दें, हमारे आपके नेटवर्क है, नेटवर्क का एक्सेस दे दें, बहुत सारी चीजें करा सकते हैं हम लोग उसको।
संतोष जी, मुझे 3 एवरग्रीन बिजनेस आइडियाज बताइए जो हमेशा एग्जिस्ट करते हैं, करते रहेंगे और करते चले आ रहे हैं।
आई थिंक इट्स ऑल सराउंडेड अराउंड ह्यूमन बींग्स। सो अगर समथिंग इज आवर हेल्थ एंड वेलबींग का आता है, एक उसके लिए रिलेशन हो जाएगा। दूसरा, अगर B2B सेक्टर में जाएं तो मार्केटिंग एंड ब्रांडिंग विल ऑलवेज रिमेन ओवर देयर इन व्हाटएवर शेप और फॉर्म जो हम लोग कर रहे हैं। और तीसरा, जो टेक्नोलॉजी ड्रिवन बिजनेसेस हैं, टेक्नोलॉजी ड्रिवन बिजनेस में जाएंगे तो वो भी इवॉल्व होती रही है, बट टेक्नोलॉजी बहुत हाई इम्पैक्ट दे रहा है, तो वो एक थर्ड सेक्टर होएगा जहां पर आप एवरग्रीन उसको मान सकते हैं।
एंड कैन यू टेल मी द 3 evolving business ideas where we can venture in?
I think depending on how much investment cost and profit analysis which we are doing cost benefit wise, but AI is one thing. आज की डेट में AI बहुत young है at this point of time. AI is currently in the phase which was internet in early 80s. तो वही AI का स्टेज है आज। So I think वो एक बहुत ever evolving है। दूसरा जो रहेगा मार्केटिंग, अगर आप मार्केटिंग में कोई भी एक चीज पिकअप करते हैं, वेदर इट्स डिजिटल मार्केटिंग, सोशल मीडिया और ट्रेडिशनल मार्केटिंग, इट्स वन ऑफ द बिगेस्ट एंड मोस्ट फ्रूटफुल एग्जांपल इट कुड बी डन। द रीजन बिहाइंड दैट इज marketing is needed by every business, and the people who fail to market their own brand or market their own products, they will always struggle. So marketing एक आपका चीज है। And third and most important, finance and sales. I think if you can find a vehicle जो आपके बिजनेस को फंडिंग लेकर आ सकता है, तो वो एक और कैटलिस्ट बन सकता है। एंड सेल्स स्किल्स विच इज वेरी सॉफ्ट स्किल, जो हम सबके अंदर है। बचपन से हम माँ बाप से चॉकलेट मांगते आए हैं, हम रो के बात करके कुछ भी करके जो हमको चाहिए वो लेते हैं, वो स्किल हमारे पास। लेकिन जैसे जैसे हम बड़े होते हैं हम सोचते हैं ये हमारे लिए नहीं है, बट वो नेचुरल स्किल्स है। तो इफ यू कैन बिल्ड एंड इन जो परसुएशन स्किल्स होता है या सेल्स जो स्किल्स होता है वो डेवलप करें, तो वो तीसरा एक एवरग्रीन फील्ड है मेरे ख्याल से।
Santosh ji, I expected something in agriculture and horticulture and green well-being,
जी,
So what is your take on it?
I think agriculture is again another green field है, organic field है, and plus at the same evergreen है। जब तक ह्यूमन बींग्स विल एग्जिस्ट एग्रीकल्चर रहेगा वहां पर। सो एग्रीकल्चर में कुछ चीजें हैं जो आर्टिफिशियल एग्रीकल्चर हम लोग करते हैं या ऑर्गेनिक फार्मिंग करते हैं। मेरी जो इंस्टीट्यूशन है ग्रीन वैली इन्फिनिटी, ये प्रमोट कर रहा है ऑर्गेनिक एंड सस्टेनेबल फार्मिंग। सो आई थिंक वो एक इम्पॉर्टेंट एस्पेक्ट है बिकॉज इट इज ऑल रिलेटेड टू आवर हेल्थ एंड हैप्पीनेस। तो आई थिंक जहां पर हम अगर ऑर्गेनिक फार्मिंग लेकर आते हैं उससे वुमेन एम्पावरमेंट मिलेगा, जो लोकल फैमिलीज है फार्मर्स की, उससे अगर हम उनका प्रोडक्शंस और हम उनके इनकम सोर्स को बढ़ा सकते हैं, सो वो एक बहुत पॉजिटिव इम्पैक्ट देगा। एंड बिकॉज ऑफ दिस वुमेन एम्पावरमेंट एंड पॉजिटिव इम्पैक्ट इनटू दिस, उनके बच्चे और अच्छा पढ़ाई लिखाई कर सकते हैं, फाइनेंशियली मोर स्ट्रॉन्गर हो सकते हैं वो लोग। सो आई थिंक वो चीजें आएंगी। दूसरा एंगल जो है इसमें सस्टेनेबल एनर्जी, अगर ऑर्गेनिक फार्मिंग को हम सोलर एनर्जी या विंड पावर से अगर हम जोड़ देते हैं तो हमारा जो इन्वायरमेंट है वो और ज्यादा सस्टेनेबल हो जाएगा। सो इन सबको अगर कंबाइन करें तो एक ग्रीन वैली क्रिएट होगी, which is nothing but the organic farming, women empowerment, sustainability, which is going to support UN के जो 14 प्रिंसिपल है, 17 प्रिंसिपल्स है, उनको भी सपोर्ट करता हुआ आता है वो। सो आई थिंक वो एक एंगल है जो वंस अगेन एज अ ह्यूमन बीइंग बहुत पॉजिटिव इम्पैक्ट लेकर आ सकता है अगर हम उसको बिना भूले, बिना साइड में रखे जाए तो।
संतोष जी, मुझे विजन्स टू विक्ट्री का कुछ स्पेशल फीचर बताइए आपकी इस बुक का।
आई थिंक इस बुक में बहुत सारे फ्रेमवर्क्स हैं बिजनेस सक्सेस के लिए। इसमें कुछ चैप्टर्स और सेक्शंस मेरे बहुत फेवरेट हैं। सेक्शन नंबर 3 इसमें है गोल्डन नगेट्स ऑफ बिजनेस सक्सेस, वो लोगों के लिए बहुत है। और एक चैप्टर इसमें है 1.2, जो आपने जस्ट पूछा था कि बिजनेसेस में क्या क्या फेलियर आने के चांसेस रहते हैं, हाउ टू अवॉइड इट। तो वो कुछ मेरी लर्निंग्स अराउंड 33 पॉइंट्स है उसमें, या 39 पॉइंट्स है अबाउट मिसकंसेप्शंस ऑफ बिजनेस सक्सेस, चैप्टर 1.2। तो एक बार वो देखेंगे तो वो 39 पॉइंट्स आपको मिलेंगे, विच इज मोर ऑफ अ फॉर्मूलाज, और क्या क्या जो है की चैलेंजेस और पेन पॉइंट्स आते हैं। अब बेस्ड ऑन द फीडबैक, जो हमको फीडबैक मिला था लोगों से या रीडर से, उन्होंने कहा कि इसको और एलोबरेट कीजिए आप, क्योंकि ये बहुत ज्यादा चैलेंजिंग पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू जा रहा है, पेन पॉइंट्स की तरफ दिख रहा है, सोल्यूशन ओरिएंटेड कुछ चाहिए हमें। तो उसके लिए मैंने एक अलग बुक लिखी जो मेरी सेकंड बुक थी, विच इज कॉल्ड विस्पर्स ऑफ विजडम। सो विस्पर्स ऑफ विजडम इज अ स्टोरी ड्रिवन बुक। 44 बुक्स चैप्टर्स हैं उसके अंदर, और 44 एजुकेशनल स्टोरीज हैं जो आप 2.5 मिनट से 5 मिनट्स में एक चैप्टर खत्म कर सकते हैं विदाउट एनी सीक्वेंस। यू कैन रीड फर्स्ट चैप्टर और 44 चैप्टर, डजंट मैटर, इट विल हेल्प यू। आपको वो बताएगा कि क्या वहां से लर्निंग ले सकते हैं, और वो सारा विस्पर उसमें डाला हुआ है, विजडम उसमें डाला हुआ है, विच इज मोर का मूल मंत्र। तो वो एक चीज आपको अच्छी वहां से मिल सकती है। तो विस्पर्स ऑफ विजडम इज द सेकंड बुक, विच इज ड्रिवन on the idea of 1.2 of this chapter, misconception of business success.
Wow. So wish you all the best for all your future endeavors, and I hope everything will lay down your success.
Thank you very much.
Put you towards success.
Thank you very much, Krishna. Thank you.
Santoshi, you have started most of your businesses in London.
Yeah.
Operating all over the globe, like. But for example, let's come back to your early days. In 2026, if you think of that, you don't have a single pound in your pocket,
Yeah,
and you have to start a new business with all your knowledge intact, which one would you like to start with?
I think I would like to start with something which is, if I don't have any access to any funding or any kind of, because in business funding is very important. I would say something which is your personal skills which you have got, and you have got highest confidence and the strongest powerful mind. So say, for example, in my own personal situations, I will say I can create some software tools, go and build something like that. So those are the couple of things which I will say.
So you mean the skill-based and consultancy kind of a thing, where or teaching?
Yeah, or, learning wise, sharing, start some digital, media.
Sharing knowledge.
Yes.
That kind of businesses could be started.
Yes, perfect.
And the skills you can sell your skills,
Yeah, because the condition which you just mentioned over there, you don't have any money at the moment, and in finance world, so when we are creating a business.
So do you take care of these kind of skills and creativity and innovations, where a person comes to you, approaches you that he wants to start up a business, and you just have to talk to him. He meets you, and he doesn't have a single penny. But then
Yeah.
I don't know how much business. Like, I do understand business has its own pros and cons, but for an individual who is a startup initiator and he looks for funds.
Yeah.
So, what do you think? Do you take charge of his skills and his creativity, or do you think he needs something in hand, some finance,
Yeah.
to get along?
I think
How
there,
is it?
yeah, I think to answer that question, depending on the personality, there's some people they are coming, they have got lots of backups and supports. So in finance world, it is called bootstrapping, which is the
Yeah.
very first step of any funding, where we can reach out to our friends, families who can support our ideas and our thoughts, and they have got strong willpower to see us progressing. That bootstrapping works very well, where we have borrowed some money from our own savings or our friends or families. So the idea of skills and consulting, I said, where people have got no access to any fund, it's zero kind of things. But if suppose you have got some access to that and you have got very innovative ideas, business wise, something which people can feel and touch is always going to work more better. So consultants and skill based, people can't see it, it's not tangible. So you might have struggle period over there. Whereas something like creating this glass, it is a tangible, I can see that, feel it. It means this will have more better reasons to succeed into it. And if you have got friends and family who can support to build this glass, I think you will be much more successful into that operation model.
So manufacturing or kind of
Manufacturing something tangible means even if you have got a camera, say for example, and people can see it, you are creating something productive over there, creativity wise. This thing which we are doing at the moment, podcast, people can see that it's a great marketing a tool, which most of the people on the social media are earning millions from this particular tool at the moment. So it's kind of wherever there is some visibility and people have that tangible impact, it will be more successful and better branding, because it is not just depending on you as a skill.
Yeah. Santoshi, like, what would be your something unconventional trait you look for? When you are hiring a person for your company as a CEO,
Yeah.
and his CV doesn't shows that.
Yeah.
Well, we check while hiring.
Yeah.
So the CVs narrate so many things. They say that something all innovations, creativity, so many things are there.
Yeah.
And great, entrepreneurial words. But then the CV, we have to look much beyond it. What would be your choice?
I think my choice in this will be the kind of mindset and attitude he have got, and the failures which have achieved, how many businesses and how many places he have failed, and what was the impact of this, how much negative and how much positive, and how he came out of that. Those are the two things which people don't put into the CV immediately. But that becomes the biggest reason how they can survive in the negative world, or when things are not going in our own planned direction.
So generally, when I look onto the CV, I see the stability of an individual. Like, how much stable is he in one particular place? How long has he given to that particular industry?
Yeah.
So I give that, like, he has grown up with proficiency. Maybe stagnation is also a kind of a thing where we have to look forward. But like, I see some CVs coming up with variable work experiences. Now you tell me, but they are very fluctuating, just for 2 months, 4 months, 7 months, 1 year.
Yeah.
So, like, for hiring that person is actually, it's challenging for me. Like, how much will he be surviving in my industry?
Yeah.
So what, according to you, is your choice? Like,
I think, as I said, I will look for the mindset of the person and attitude of the person. What you are describing, that's a very common problem which not only you faces, but most of the entrepreneurs we all face. The stability and the stability of that particular person is very dicey at that situation. Probably I will not even invite him to talk about it. If suppose we are seeing people like this, when we are talking, we will just see that he have got some credibility, whether positive or negative, it doesn't matter, because for every situation, whether he have learned and he have got this survival and risk taking abilities, people have to be decisive. They need to have very limited information, but they should be able to make decisions with those limited informations which is in that access, and they should be able to step out from negative situations. Consider if there's everything is rosy and we have got all the good things around us, anybody can survive into it. But our actual test is happening in the situation which is going in the negative directions or not in the direction which we are. That is the real test. And if people can survive from that angle, if they have taken the dip down and they can still climb up and cross the bridge, that's kind of mindset where people can be ready for the long term. And that's one thing which I will personally always see as a trait, as a character in any person.
From CEO to investor to a mentor, how do you balance all of the roles effectively?
Okay, in one short answer, the book is one of the chapter 3.2 is the answer for that, but here is it is: delegation, elimination, automation, and leverage.
And
Leverage.
the book, what you're talking about is this. Which book is
Visions to Victory, yes.
So, Santoshji, many entrepreneurs struggle with consistency.
Yeah.
So, what made you get stable with a strong mindset?
I think resilience is the key word, which I will say. So as long as you are resilient, you are not impacted by the, negative environments around you and your own mindset.
So you needed to be strong-headed.
Strong-headed, you need to have your own purpose and you should be clear why you are doing that. That why, with resilience and with your mindset.
What was that why for you?
I think for me, the why was, I do not want anyone else into my own situation to lose 5 years of sleepless journey. My why is to allow and provide the environment where people are not losing £250,000 and closing down their 5 businesses, in 5 years' time, and then never come back to business.
So why thinking about others when you were struggling hard and striving hard for your own business? So as a businessman to be settled.
I think here is the philosophy, and I'm heavily driven by the philosophies. My philosophies of
service to others.
Here's the philosophy. My dad once he said that anybody who has been born in this world, they will always be able to feed themselves. They can either go and beg, or they can reach any friend and family, or they can go to any temple and they will feed themselves. So there is no one who can just sleep empty stomach. But if you just think of yourself, you will never be able to grow. Think about others. When you are thinking about others, you will always be helping yourself. So that's one philosophy which has always helped me to think, put others first and then think of yourself.
So you're a very social being.
I am, in one sense, inherited from my dad. So yes.
What are the biggest mistakes you see of the young entrepreneurs making today?
I think 2 things. One, they are not thinking of profit from day one. And second, they are not having processes and systems in place.
How do you face failures, especially when stakes are higher in the business?
Stay calm, stay quiet. Do not be panic. Time will fill the whole thing.
Time will fill the whole thing.
Yeah. It will give the way out.
But when many people have invested a huge amount, are they going to be calm and patient?
I think if you're calm and if you're patient, at least you will not be panicked and you will not make wrong decisions.
What strategies do you take to scale the business globally?
Yeah. So my strategy is called my own proprietary strategy, which is called Visions to Victory. And it is built on 24 core, concepts of business model. So that's what I use. Typically, heavily, it is surrounded around 70% of marketing, 30% of operations and finances.
In today's digital world, how important is personal branding and marketing for personal success?
I think it's very important, because without personal branding, nobody will know you. And if you can't be seen, you can't be sold.
What advice would you give to someone starting from zero with no connections?
Start looking at your phone. Find out how many people are the top 5 people who have got the strong background, who can be a role model for you. And just follow them as a role model and seek advice.
How do you build strong network that adds value to your journey?
Follow your passion. Follow what you wanted to achieve and why you wanted to achieve, and find the like-minded people into your networks and connections, and then you will be able to reach where they have reached.
how do you identify the right investment opportunity?
Two keywords for that: process driven and scalability options. If a business have got the processes and then it is scalable, it's a right investment opportunities.
What role does mentorship play in your life?
Very strong role. Every individual, however big or small, they should have a mentor. Even I have got around 3 mentors at this point of time, which I'm already working with. So mentorship is along, very strong. Choose your mentors very strategically, and always choose someone who have already traveled that path, not just talking about.
What habits and routines have contributed most to your success?
Discipline is one thing, and resilience, as I mentioned earlier, and plus ability not to give up.
What one piece of advice you wish you would have received once in your career?
I wish I should have followed the systems and processes from the very day one of my business career.
Finally, what legacy do you want to create through your work and impact?
I want to touch base millions of people who are being fed every day from our business legacies, who are having the shelter and who are not having any kind of challenges in medical or health wise, and they are happy. If I can provide happier life at least to million people, I would say my first social milestone is achieved.
So, how can we reach you?
To reach me, you can visit to my website santoshkumar.co.uk. So that's one option. Or connect on Instagram. You'll become part of another 70,000 people as a part of my network. And I would love to see you guys as a part of this whole ecosystem.
So, Santoshi, do you believe in angel investment?
Yes, I do.
So, how is it in your way of, you know, transferring that angel investment? Do you believe in, starting up a business with a new startup, generation
Yeah.
that nowadays coming up with young blood, young thought, young innovation,
Yeah.
creativity? So, like, would you like to invest in them?
I think I would, and I'm already investing with the people, young people who are already having some strong ideas. One of the key challenge into that one is when you are approaching any investor with your business model as a young entrepreneur, they don't think of what an investor wants. So always approach how can you add value. And there are 4 keywords which can always make you much more valuable investors. Are you fundable? So first think of that one. Are you creating a value? Are you making a difference and impacting the higher societies? These are the 3 things. And plus, how and where you can think beyond yourself. If you are thinking for these things, anybody would love to come and fund you.
And do you have any package for old age and senior citizens?
I think personally, package wise, we do some charitable activities between myself and my wife, where we are supporting, old age homes, some young kids as well. So we do some charitable initiatives. We have started a charity called Green Valley Infinity. The idea of Green Valley Infinity is again creating an organic environment globally where people are not struggling for the food, wherever we can reach out, or for the accommodation or for the clothing. So basic needs are provided to those people, which includes taking food and medicine for the old age people as well as for the kids.
And any money security, financial security, do you plan for creating the senior citizens after 60, age of 60, especially Indian senior citizens?
I think as of now, we have not put any kind of money security or anything like that at this point of time. I'm building infrastructure charitable initiative at this point in our native place, which is again trying to bring more and more value to the people who are in need.
And for example, I mean to ask about like senior citizens, like nowadays, in any health insurance also don't cover up their medical, issues after 60s, and they have a list of things to check on, whether they should be, are they eligible for that medical insurance policies. And we know in India, like our senior citizens were very, they started late to understand the medical policies.
Yeah.
So do you have any plan to, help them and guide them for their medical insurances and health insurances uh, in the later age
Yeah.
of life?
I think at this point, personally, from my side, I think me and you probably will not be able to dictate that, because these are the government policies and environment policies which will be supported from the top higher authorities. Of course, we all can play a small role into these things. How can we make a difference? So if suppose we are organizing a medical health checkup, say for example, for them, so we organize that. Last year I organized one medical health checkup for the senior citizens, and I think around 1,500 people from 12 different villages, they gather around every day for 3 days coming over there. So we can provide these kind of options for the people. We can provide free medicines, from our side for these guys. So whatever we can do it, rather than thinking this is government's job or they should be able to do it. Every small step or every little always helps.
And is it also similar in UK even? Like,
I think in UK the environment is completely different. So government have got lots of support over there. The senior citizens, they are all having the state pensions. They are all supported by the government. So they have got different infrastructure and environment as compared to India. But still, there are old age homes. There are old age homes in UK, in European countries. I'm sure it is in India as well. We were looking for some of the. One is in Mira Road itself. Where we have went over there. We made certain changes into their current infra. They have around 34 rooms. I think last time when we went over there, we changed all the curtains, because they said, can we change one curtain? And we said, okay, let's change all the curtains for them. So these institutions are everywhere. We have to see how and where we can add value.
Santoshi, let's talk about your authorship. You have written 2-3 books I have seen, and those books are very amazing and very interesting. One I have kept in my college library, and let's talk about your books and
Sure.
how did you made up a mind of writing a book. So let's talk about that.
Sure.
Yeah.
I think in terms of making mind, very short, Krishna, 2012, I saw a growth where I lost £250,000, and then I created the systems and process where I recovered that money as well. And these are the frameworks which lots of big four companies, they charge millions of pounds, and other people who have not seen that, they don't even have an idea about it. So my idea was to provide these things through my systems. Now when I'm mentoring and sharing my knowledge and my skills with the other people, I can reach out to very limited number of people. So as of now, the writing of the book came in 2016, when I saw that I had more than 200,000 businesses listed with our community, and I cannot reach out to all of them. So I thought, why don't I write a book, and then anyone, anywhere in the world can just read that book and they can learn. Even if they can learn one thing from that, they are still better than the previous day. So that was the whole idea. And that's the time when I put down my first, page, of the book in 2016 April. And so far I have drafted around 27 titles. As you rightly said, every year I'm releasing one book. My first 2024 were Visions to Victory. And then second 25 was Whispers of Wisdom.
Whispers of Wisdom.
Yes.
Okay.
So that was the second book. And now this year again, I'll not release it at this point. It's in the early stage, but third book is coming as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what does this talk about? Visions to Victory, right?
So Visions to Victory is about personal and professional success. Now, typically, the idea with this title was that we all have got an idea in our minds.
Yeah.
What happens, these dreams, these ideas sometimes disappear as soon as we wake up. But sometimes when we are seeing from our open eyes these dreams or visions, we all at least go with that for a week or few days or few months. And then we just, sometimes disappear, but some people will carry it. Most of the idea of multiple dreams or multiple visions is to reach to a destination point. So hence visions means multiple visions, and then victory is the victory point, where is a final destination, which we have decided.
It could be always one vision also.
It could be, it could be, it could be one, or most of people will have multiple. They start with one, but behind the scene, they will all, oh, I should have done this or this. So hence, this idea of visions to victory.
And what is this Whispers to Wisdom?
Whispers of Wisdom is more of the, some of the formulas, some of the philosophy, some of the ethics. It's written in a very small, so over a cup of coffee in 2.5 minutes. You can read one chapter, you can get one mool mantra out of that particular chapter, and then you can implement anywhere. And that way I have given 44 business ethics or personal ethics for personal and professional growth into that book.
Where would we get this book?
So you can go on Amazon, you can find it, or you can reach out to us. You can go on my website, santoshkumar.co.uk. You can request from there, or you can go to their respective books website as well, and you can find from there.
Amazing. Those are great, amazing contributions to you of your insights to our podcast. It was great time talking to us, and it was great time talking to you. And I think one piece of advice, this would be the closing point of the podcast today. So can you just give me one piece of advice to the young generation and the young business entrepreneurs today?
I think do not lose the hope and never give up.
It was great time, Santoshji, on our podcast, and hope to see you together once again with our third release of the book.
Thank you so much for inviting me, Krishna. I really appreciate it. And thank you for the time which we have given together. We have shared a lot of more insights, and I hope we'll keep on learning from each other throughout the life as well. Great to have you here. Thank you very much for you and your team.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.